Welcome back to All the Crackers in the Box. Happy Granny Square Day. Fabulous day. I had no idea until I'd been watching YouTube for a couple hours today. I was like, oh, it's Granny Square Day. Did not know that. News to me. Anyways, hi. So welcome back. Couple updates. No new yarn, I know. Boring. Anyway, I tried out. Okay, so when you do diamond arts, a lot of people are using these light boxes, light pads. You put your painting on top and the light comes up underneath and illuminates the letters for you or symbols, whatever they happen to use for that particular picture. I made a homemade one for my mom using ring light and an old margarine container, a big square one that's opaque, and yeah, it actually has worked really well. I tried it out today, and while I was doing the dishes, very slowly because it's so hot, nine crinkles, here we go. I've gotten a whole ton done on her. She's a lot more defined, I think, because I got like this whole area here, all up in here. Let me pull that back just so you can get an idea of like the type of shine. There we go, a nice little shine to it. And I'm about to start all the flowers and whatnot on the back of her head. So, light box. I didn't think that would be something I'd want to have. My mom is probably going to end up getting one because her eyes are getting really bad. Mine are not great, but they're not as bad off as hers. Pardon me while I tuck that away in its spot. I haven't been cleaning up in my desk area very much lately. And just because my husband was irritating me, I threw a couple more rows down here of the blue on my bathroom one. That one's going to be so cool when it's done. I wanted something fun for the bathroom, and that one says wash your paws on it with a little ducky on the bottom. Perfect for a kid's bathroom. I've been using this for my Hobbii neck lamp. If you don't have one of these, get one of these. It doesn't matter what kind of projects you're working on. It could be cross-stitch, reading, and you're sharing a room with somebody and you don't want to turn on a light, or you're watching a movie and you want a tiny bit of light. Get yourself one of those. I love my neck lamp. I'm able to use my light after a certain amount of time if everyone's sleeping, so that's not so bad for me, but sometimes I'll just stick with the neck light. And I like it for the diamond art and anything really intricate, so if I'm working with something really small, I use my neck light. Okay, so I've made some decisions, I said I would, about my tulip granny squares, because all I've done today for crochet has been some granny squares. I'm just going to grab this and put it on my finger. Now, I did put out a poll under my community tab, and one person responded, thank you so much, super excited. Unfortunately, I decided to change up the whole plan on how I was putting this together, because the way the pattern was going, I'd have to turn my squares this way, and I don't like it. So I had to take a look at ones that I could place my squares this way. I didn't go to all this trouble to learn this particular one to have it go sideways. I don't like the way it looks. I want it straight up and down. Simple as that. So I did find a couple on my same page that I found on Pinterest on all sorts of different ways to put your granny squares together. These ones are on a diagonal. And because they are just simple daisies, easy. Just the color placement was the issue. I mean, I've seen some gorgeous ones done the same shape with just one color, but the shape's still there, and I'm kind of glad I went with the colors. I think it's going to be a very, very nice look. Okay. I'm just going to move my wallet piece and put it on top of there because I'm getting really close to lining everything and doing my final sew up. Because now that I have figured out what shape I'm going with, I could have went with like the floor bag, just a simple like book bag type style. Didn't really like it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going, 3 across the top, 1 down here, and then you have 2 folded over. So it's going to be about, so I'm going to hold these together about this wide. That's pretty wide for a bag. And it's going to be 1 square down. So that'll be impossible. Hold on. But it'll be about that long. I think that's a great size for just a little simple take out with me bag. So I have 4 already. I need 6. So I got 3 flowers done. And I don't normally do granny squares like that, but I saw somebody else doing it on a video, and I thought, hey, try it in a different way, see if you like it. Now my poll that I put on was I was considering doing another color, and I was going to do a brighter yellow and a darker green and black. And I thought about it, and I don't want to do the 2 colors the way the bag is situated. I don't think that's going to suit my needs. Interesting. Different. Just trying to straighten my desk a little. So we're still going to use my gorgeous sage green, and I don't know what I'm going to do. I have so much of this left still. It's just lasting forever, and I used a lot of it in the other bag. I thought for sure. This is my dollar store gray. It's really nice and soft, and it is a little splitty though, so be careful. My unknown soldier of yellow. This is one of those thrift store finds where it was in a bag for $2, and I was like, yes. And I decided, because I absolutely love this one, this is a Hobbii We Heart yarn from my 12-pack of black, which has lasted me almost a year now. And I do put a lot of black in here and there. So I'm going to do that shape, and then I'm going to use black to outline everything. So that's going to be my uniforming, grab everything, pull it together. Super excited. I think it's going to turn out really nice, and now after that it is a matter of going through the materials and figuring out which ones I want to use. I'll take my ring off for this part. We've gotten through this morning. Went through another row. Loving how that pink comes. And I'm not a pink girl. Really, I'm not. I love gray though. So the pink I'm finding is a really nice contrast. But I love color, which seems kind of strange when I'm like, my clothes are pretty dark, pretty broody, and they always have been for years. But I'm starting to look at color, as you can see from the yarns that I'm just dying to use behind me. I'm starting to branch out into other colors, other textures. I'm really excited about some upcoming projects. The next one I'm doing is the Picasso Granny Square, and it's a Bag O' Day pattern. And yeah, I'm going to have to do some measuring and be sneaky about it, so that'll be fun. Because I don't want my daughter knowing. She'd probably guess, though. Might do a matching bag to go with it. Maybe a hat. I think about a bucket hat for her. She looks so cute with a bucket hat. I don't know yet, so we'll play it by ear, because I mean, I've got a ton of off-white and so much of that pinky purple and blue. One moment, I'll grab them right behind me. Alright, so the rainbowy colorway I'm going to use is this one. I think this is a red heart. This came out of a beat up blanket that was in really bad shape, and my mother and I took turns taking apart a couple blankets that weren't doing very well. And if this works out very well, the way I hope it will. And I have Red Heart Comfort, which is a huge amount. How much is it on there? Oh, you could put your glasses on to read these tiny writings. They're not tiny writings, but they are to my poor old eyes. Too much crafting. Never enough crafting. 16 ounces, 454 grams. Knitting or stitch, shrink proof, color fast, no dye lot. One of these said it was like 800 and something. I swear. It's probably on the inside of the thing because I can't remember which one of them, but one of my, I found quite a few have come home from the thrift store for me, so there has been quite a few of them. However, I may not even have to get into that one because I have this Super Saver, which is just the same thing as my green sage. And that thing has gone for quite a while. This one's not full. One thing I found that I thought was really cute is they tell you which way to pull if you want to do an outside pull or an inside pull, which is really cute. And you are how many? Medium 4, 5.5 millimeter, 364 yards or 333 meters. And these ones were dyed and done up in America. We'll pop those in there. So, one thing I like to do before I really get going on any project, I like to give it some thought. I like to come back to my ideas. I like to really place out what I'm going to need. And I even do it with my diamond arts. They're all separated into different little containers for each one. So I have 4 going at any time depending on my mood. I like to leave my options open, but don't start more than that. I can handle 4 on the go, and one will suddenly become my obsession, and I will do that one. Same thing with my crochet. Pretty quick here, I'm going to be pulling out the blanket, which is just behind me in a plastic tote. And I have a bag full of, I think I should have enough to finish it off by now. If not, I'll get more. Can always get more yarn. Hopefully. I was on Facebook today and a girl, she had got herself a yarn from Panda Yarns. Cinnamon Stitches did a whole thing on it where she made her own colorway, and I looked at the prices, and if Hobbii doesn't come up with something super spectacular, which they probably will for Halloween, being they're taking so long and it's causing such a build up for people. I'm seeing that on Alt Knots live the other day. A lot of people, that's all they wanted to talk about is when is Hobbie's Halloween line coming out. Of course, she would know. She doesn't work for them. So it's just kind of okay. However, I mean, I just got into the yarn last year, really. I mean, I had a few minor things, but the actual buying yarn for the sake of it's just gorgeous, and I just want to make something. I don't know what I want to make. I have very few of those. Those are usually right there. And they're usually the Hobbii ones because they have such gorgeous ways. Like their Horizon, I really want to try those. Lollipop, Butterfly. I have a bunch of Fluffy Days. Those were just on sale on their live shopping this week. And oh, they are nice. They're so nice that I'm they're in my pile of, I'm nervous about pulling them out and using them, or other ones like the red hearts here, I'm just like, use them. No problem. All these Yarn Inspiration ones are fairly easy to come across. And Yarn Inspiration is not so bad to get in Canada, but Hobbii is a little tricky. There's a lot of hidden costs, like paying for everything in American, so it's a few dollars more, and then you've got your shipping and handling, and then you've got your customs, and you might as well just put aside like $50 extra, so it kind of brings down the amount that you can get. And in this day and age, that's kind of a, do wish they had something in Canada for that, but they'll probably hit States first, which is just story of the world. But we got things like Archaic Fire, which has been coming out with some hanks that I am just drooling over. They are like $40 a hank, so that's a little bit out of my price range, but I might have to save up. But what I was saying was that Panda one is in Alberta, which is not that far from me, and the shipping between her and me would not be nearly as bad. And I think like 11 something, which is better than what I can get from the Michaels 20 minutes away. $15 to order anything from the Michaels. And that's just kind of, Walmart charges me less. And most of the stuff getting from Walmart's coming from where the warehouse is like way further away. So it's just a little bit of an odd one. It really kind of sticks to my mouth a little. Because it really, I could take the bus and get there faster. And I'm just kind of not liking the idea of taking the bus because it's like an over an hour long bus ride, but it is a lot cheaper. It's like a $5 trip over taking gas or paying $15 for delivery. And I'd have to take my kids. So there's that. So it almost might work out. Anyway. Panda Yarns. I'd have to look up the name again. I did bookmark her because, oh, there's so many pretties, and her pricing is in Canadian, so I can drool over it a lot easier and be like, okay, that I can price that out easier without having to do a ton of math to figure it out and hope I don't get hit with customs, because it's just coming across a provincial border which doesn't have customs. I'm so excited. I have been looking for another set of the Whirls, and unfortunately I'm going to have a hard time finding that here in Canada. I'm going to be paying very, very dearly for those, even if I got it on Amazon, because Amazon's like almost $40 a cake, and I need like 2 or 3 to make that pretty dress that I'm kind of crushing on, but I'm not going to take apart what I've made to get that dress, because the dress I'm already making, I was already crushing on, so I can't keep doing that. I'm not that kind of girl, as much as I have crushes on beautiful patterns. I'm getting interested in a couple shawls. I just came across some new shawls. Baggerdy's come out with quite a few, but there was a couple I just found on Pinterest that were really pretty, like the Sister Love one. Oh, that is a lacy girl. And the colors that the person used, of course, were just gorgeous. They were very fall. There was green and yellow and a golden brown. Just blew my mind. I was like, oof. I don't know if it's maybe the colorway that I'm attracted to, but the laciness of it was really nice too, with the different color changes, so it might work out for what I would want to have it work out for. And so I'm trying to curb things for myself. Right now I'm going to get my dress done and maybe start some winter things for myself. Thinking about this or this being my next yarn to use, but I'm scared to use it because those are so pricey, so bougie, so fancy. I also am considering those ones because I kind of want something out of those. I think they're really fun. So, what is a girl to do? So many yarns, and my hand has been hurting just a little. Right in here again. Just like in the wrist and then up into here right this week. Last couple days I went to get up and I guess I pushed it the wrong way and it's kind of made a little cracking noise, and then has been a little sore since. But like I said before, I think I've got some sort of fracture or something silly, and it's going to be one of those ones that you can't really do anything about, and I just have to be careful with it. So keep my rings. This is my crazy hand, and just try to change positions gently and do my exercises and wear my compression gloves. I woke up in the middle of the night. I guess I forgot to put them on, so I felt weird, so I put them on. My hands were pretty swollen. They swell up a lot when I'm sleeping, so that's why I put the gloves on. And that works for me. Some people have been saying that you shouldn't sleep with them on. I sleep with compression socks on, so what would be the difference? When I was in the hospital having the kids, they told me to sleep with the socks on to keep the swelling of my legs down after the epidural wore off. So that's my reasoning. I'm sticking to it. I'm not going to change my story now. Anyways, super excited. I'm getting close to the end of this one here, and I'm already thinking about the next 2 projects. I'm going to start a new Ami. Tiny wants food and a kitty for her birthday, and hers is the last one, so I can take a little more time with hers. And it's pretty easy for me to get all the pieces together and sew it up when she's sleeping. It's not that hard to do. Sewing in bed is a lot easier than pulling out all this yarn at the same time. Does anyone else do what I do? End up sleeping with balls of yarn in your bed? No? Just me? Alright. What can I say? Thanks for joining me here at All the Crackers in the Box. Super exciting. New projects are going to be done. Old projects are getting done. New projects are going to be started. Come back sometime soon. Have a great day.